Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got Rev again here. Interview erased after Dragon Quest creator questions Western censorship of his game. Oh, I remember this interview. They were talking about body one and or body type one and body type two. They were just laughing. So they that video got censored as well. Jesus, that's not looking good. It's like people like never heard of the Streisand effect. It's crazy. Let's go.
Hey, what's up,
Oh,
guys? Up here. So today we're going to be returning to Dragon Quest III Remake because we have some more updates regarding this release. So a few days ago, a video went viral sharing the thoughts of the
that it
Dragon
did,
Quest
man.
creator who
That it
expressed
did.
his concerns about censorship of this game in order to make it into Western markets. That video has since been deleted, and a lot of people believe this is an act of further censorship. Now, before we get
It
into the most
looks like it.
recent updates, I covered this situation a few
I mean, I can't think of anything else like why it would be deleted. It it makes sense, like having your creators talk shit about how your game is being portrayed. It makes sense. It makes sense, like why you would want that just gone from the internet, but it's it's a shame, man. It's a shame they have to follow that.
few days ago. And to sum up what was taking place in this video, and if you want the full story, I'll put a link to this video in the description. Essentially, there was a lot of concerns about this remake. There was concerns about the biological genders being removed from the game and replaced with type A and type B body types. On top of that, some of the iconic designs of this game.
Damn. Yeah, it is changed. Ooh, this is. I get it. People are like, this is bad. Actually, let me see if I can move so you guys can see. It's just the yellow stuff under, the yellow clothing under. That's changed. She has none there, but yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this game of this series. So I don't know if it is a series, but this game I'm not a fan of. I've never played it. So like to me it it doesn't like it's egregious or anything. Like I don't know, but that's just me. Who knows?
Have been
Maybe the fans are like super mad at this.
censored in the remake, and all of these concerns were addressed by this video that went viral on Twitter,
Yeah,
where the Dragon Quest creator, alongside the former editor in charge of Dragon Ball, would talk about those two issues in particular, both citing them as acts of censorship that they clearly didn't like. And on top of that, they blamed a lot of the censorship on the demands of the Western market, in particular the United States. And they really just didn't understand why they have to go through all these hoops in order for these games to be properly labeled or rated. And
you know what's funny? It's like the West. It's Japan and America are like opposites in terms of like Japan peer to peer like interactions is polite, it's cordial, it's reserved. But like that when it comes to their media, it's like outlandish. It's just like all of their like frustrations of like peer to peer stuff just out there in the page, and there's nothing holding them back apart from the that law where like you can't actually show body parts, if you know what I mean. Um, Whereas in America, everyone's free. Everyone's it's like very out there when it comes to peer to peer. There's very like forward, very not very reserved at all. By the way, that's just from an outsider looking in to to Americans. So like it might be different somewhere else, but like that's the image that I get from it. But when it comes to like media, especially since the left is kind of like what's in power now, the media is very reserved. You can't be sexual. You can't sexualize anyone unless it's a male. Then they don't care. So it's weird how these two cultures are like opposites in a peer-to-peer versus there are and opposites to each other. It's just strange.
And properly introduced into those markets overseas. Now, since then, that video has been removed. The tweet sharing it
Rip.
has been removed, and also the YouTube video with that interview has been taken down. For reasons we'll get into later in this video, but a lot of people believe this is a further act of censorship trying to cover up the
It
tracks
is.
of
It
this
is.
video and also the statements made by the Dragon Quest creator that was seemingly questioning some of these acts of censorship for this remake. So, in wake of that video going viral, a lot of people are coping in
Don't you love to see this word? Oh, I love it, man. I love seeing this word because I just switch off. Like whenever want anyone brings up, "Oh, this guy's a Nazi," I'm just like, okay, whatever you say next, you just you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh man, it's one of those words. It's like gaslighting. People who overuse that, and I fucking hate that word. It's so cringe. I think now gaslighting and Nazi has become more cringe than fucking skibbity, in my opinion. And actually, it's fucking a dead meme by now. But like, these two words are so cringe to me, especially gaslighting. When people just throw around gaslighting, like, oh, fuck off. You don't know. You don't know anything. Shut up.
and seething on Twitter. They saw the creator complaining about censorship of his game.
I'm just reading this. Doing business with such a ridiculous country is frustrating. Damn. It's like an absolute god, an evil disguised as good. I really wonder who's even complaining about this. That's what's under here. You kind of see it through when I talk. That's true, man. It's Twitter people. It's the vocal minority. I, ooh, do I say that? Is that true? Because it's in workplace shit now. Like I know it used to be it workplace stuff was you had to be like more reserved and it's more rules and stuff, but like now it's even more like if you say stuff outside of work, it's you're done now. Uh, we label them type 1 and type 2. Yeah, damn. He fucking hates that. Is it Wings? Is it Wings? Is that his name? It's like fucking pronouns.
And they turned around and called him a Nazi, a bigot, among other things. It's absolutely insane. Here's some examples. So this user saying, Yuji Horii going Nazi was not on my bingo sheet.
Fuck off, dude. What? They didn't watch. They probably didn't watch the fucking interview. It's all the interview was. It was just like it's a culture shock, like having to change stuff to like censorship, like stuff, just because of a different country.
Where a further conversation would
What?
ensue in this thread. This person saying, Yukio, what in the blue blazes are you talking about? How does that make him Hitler? Where they reply saying, pretty much welcoming culture war tourists who tend to be Nazis. Where they are responding here with, by complaining that the game they made had to be censored, you can't
Culture war Taurus. Welcoming culture war Taurus. What? Did I mean like, oh, like the Nazis gonna latch onto what you're saying and like agreeing? Wait, how does would that make them Nazis if they agree with EG? That makes no sense. This guy is on like a different planet.
chastise someone because grifters will latch onto a thing. Look at how much stuff I call out on a daily basis that some grifter might too. Where the original poster responds saying, it was censored because of Sero, and that's been consistent for over a decade. The Type A and Type B stuff is not censorship. where the other user replies saying, I mean, they outright said it was due to Western
Yeah.
Puritans. The sex education thing was a mistranslation, and that mistranslation is going to be very important for the end of this video, so keep that in mind. But eventually, in a deleted response, that original poster would just straight up
Damn. Would you look at that? Let me just move my fired. No, I haven't watched the video. I haven't had the time. But you had the time to reply. You could have just watched the video. People aren't real, man. They're just not real. They're not. They can't be like this. This is impossible. There's no human. No. I've seen too many of these. This situation where they just haven't fucking done anything. Like this, that whole dream-ish. The whole dream-ish is like where he's just fucking that whole video he did. Obviously, there's some things you have to take with a grain of salt, but like everyone who just hated him, never watched the video, nothing. It's just crazy. They just believe it, and as soon as someone believes in something, it's harder to get them to not believe it. After, it's easier to get someone to believe in your bullshit than it is to make them see that maybe what they believe in is bullshit.
up admit that they didn't even watch the video. They didn't even watch this interview. So they're calling this creator a bigot and a Nazi over a video they didn't even watch. And the video is like less than 3 minutes, by the way. So you don't have the attention span to watch that video, but you have the attention span to make this long thread calling them a Nazi. It's
True,
absolutely
true.
insane. Now, in some other conversations, we saw users pointing out the fact that a lot of people are wagging their fingers at these Japanese
Just move here.
creators and saying basically, we know
I think Japanese people are often extremely conservative dumbasses. They are extremely conservative, and like I said, like they're really reserved in like versus their media, and it's the opposite of America. But yeah, they are extremely conservative. Um, it's just one of those things where like it's hard to change culture, but is them being extremely conservative like that bad? Why are you trying to make them in your image? You're literally trying to colonize the the see it's just the virtue signaling is like so blind to like either racism and that what they call like colonization of like culture whenever like someone's dressing up as like traditional like Thai dress or traditional Japanese kimono, they think it's like, oh, you're that's cultural appropriation. But like the leftists, it's they hate cultural appropriation, but they want everybody to think the way they think by like colonizing their fucking culture and just making them sterile like everyone else. It's so boring. Why? Why do you want the world to like have no culture? Like all have the same culture. It's like I get it for the future, but like you gotta preserve some culture, man. You gotta preserve some differences. Differences are nice. They're all about celebrating differences, and everyone's beautiful and everything, but like except the wrong kind, you know? It's was it that Mr. Bean speech? Everyone's probably watched the video where like he's like, I'm intolerant to intolerance, but that means you're just intolerant as well. Yeah, it's just weird that the leftists are just blind to like what they do. They're just blind to like they think what I'm doing is so valuable, it's so needed for the world that I'm just gonna ignore it. That it's actually racist and that I just want to destroy a different culture. I'm just gonna ignore that fact. Fuck that. What I'm doing is right. I'm in the right here. shut up, dude.
Know what's best when it comes to censorship. Your values are skewed, and we have to remind you what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And users, as you can see here, are basically saying that's very infantilizing and offensive to say about a group of people, where this user responds saying, I think Japanese people are often extremely conservative dumbasses. Yeah, so on Twitter, in case you don't know, the only thing that's comparable to the open racism against
Oh, I forgot to read it. Sounds like you think people in Japan are too feeble-minded to understand what's going on in their industry, and there's a word for that. Yes, yes, these people actually think that. They think that it's the oh no, it is racist. It's that sort of deal where like someone could just be like, I don't think this is racist. I think this is okay. No, you are offended. It is racist. What do you mean? You have to be you have to be offended. What they're saying is completely racist. What are you talking about? It's okay. I'll help you. So patronizing. Like people can think for themselves, man. But like this guy's just like parroting it. But this is 100% true. This is what the leftists think. They think they are so high and mighty that like, oh, these poor people, these poor retarded Japanese people, these poor retarded black people, they don't understand what they're facing is like racism. I'll let them know. I'll tell them what's right. You know, I will lead these poor retarded people who can't see that what's happening to them is racist. They just put themselves on a pedestal. It's power. That's what they get from it. It's just power. They think, yes, I'm doing right. I'm good. Just a whole power trip, man.
white people is racism against Japanese people. Like those are two things that are rarely questioned and they just thrive
Yep.
for some
They don't see what they're doing is racist. It's not racist to them. That's the issue.
reason on social media. Those are safe targets to go after, and we see this happen every time there's drama involving a Japanese company or a Japanese person. There's always some weird racist remarks that largely go unquestioned. But here's another example from someone trying to claim that they're a part of the Dragon Quest community, making this little comic here saying that the essentially the Dragon Quest community doesn't care about DEI and censorship of their game, which is ridiculous. If you support censorship of a hobby, you are not a part of that community. I don't care if it's Dragon Quest or anything else. If you support censorship, you should not be a part.
Oof. I think I disagree with Rev here. I think there are people like this. There's always going to be people like this who don't care. Because at the end of the day, it's a game franchise. It's a game franchise they love. They love it so much, and anything to do with it. Since like I'm pretty sure this is the. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure because this is the only time I've heard of anything like this. Like this is like the first installment in like ages for Dragon Quest. So like I see people who just love the franchise, they don't care about it. And to be honest, as an outsider looking in, I'm just giving you my like 2 cents. The picture that we saw earlier, it was just they're giving her like underclothes, like shorts and a top and like a sports bra. It's not that big of a deal to me, but like I get it, censorship bad, you know.
Of the community because you don't have their best interests in mind. And this user would respond basically saying you're fighting a strong.
Like with me, I'd be excited if if they came out with like if they revisited the Soul Reaver franchise. Oh, the Blood Omen. I would. And if there was anything there that they censored, I probably wouldn't care. I'd just love to see that series come back again. I just love that series. I miss it, man. God, I have to download and emulate and play Soul Reaver again, and Blood Omens as well, Origins.
Man to feel good about yourself, where that original poster replies by saying, this automatically moot because you're a pedo. Good day. Ah, yes, the classic Twitter tactic of running out of any sort of a real argument and then just labeling your opponent as a predator and just slandering them because you have no
Okay, Rev might hate me here, but they do have a lolly profile pic, so I got Rev is a massive defender of that stuff, but yeah, I would if I was in an argument, I'd probably say, yeah, you're a pedo for having a lolly as your profile pic.
actual response. And we would see something similar here, as shared by this account. As expected, Dragon Quest fans are already turning on Hori and trying to paint him as some kind of an extremist because he doesn't want his own game to be censored. I've seen people in the past few days calling.
Yes, I know I said like I wouldn't care as a fan if stuff got censored, but if the creator is like hates it and like wishes that their own game wasn't censored, I would understand that a lot more than me thinking like not caring about it being censored because like imagine that if you wrote a movie, wrote a book, uh, and like you're going to get it published or going to get it filmed and they decided to change the heck out of it, you'd be pissed, man. It's your vision, and like for Theory Ujiari, um, like in his mind, everyone loved Dragon Quest. His fans loved Dragon Quest. So like, why change it? In his mind, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like keep it the way it was, and the fans love it. But it's a different market, so like I can see like if it comes out and like it's just all fans, maybe who knows, man? Maybe it gets in your market. And you just have to like wait and see, like keep it the same and see if like people just don't like it because it's not like censored or for like appropriate audiences and stuff. I think he should have like more creative liberties than anyone in the publishing team. Yeah, it's just a shame.
Calling him a Nazi, a chud, wishing on his death, etc., all because he spoke up. And here's some examples. Basically, some people are saying, I'm Japanese, these translations seem correct. And even one of the detractors says, well, the translations seem mostly correct, but I'm not going to watch it again because having to listen to two 70 plus old dudes ramble on about the good old days of not having to care about offending people makes my brain hurt. Yes, it makes your brain hurt.
What? Why? That should be a good thing. You shouldn't care about other people. Why should you? Unless you like, I guess they're seeing it as like they don't care like at all. But that's not the issue. The issue is self-control. Obviously, you can go around shouting like slurs and everything, right? In America, but you just don't because it's self-control, and that's what people want is the freedom to be able to do that stuff. But it's like the illusion of freedom. Like, give me the freedom so I know it's there, but I'm not gonna do it. You know, like it makes no sense. Like, it's worse to have like strict guidelines where like if you step out of line, you're dead. Like that's what it feels like nowadays. Why do you think that's a good thing compared to like when everyone's just like, oh, if you're offended, you might be a little too sensitive. Like chill out and like grow a thicker skin. That's the issue. Is people can hold back, and I don't think that's what they're seeing. They're probably seeing it as, yeah, they'll just say anything to like offend everyone. No, there's self-control when it comes to it. You're not gonna go around like shouting at every black person the N-word. They're gonna go around like shouting at every gay person the F slur. Like, shut up, dude.
To hear people who are confused that their entire life doesn't have to basically revolve around not
I
offending a
guess they
bunch
have
of
no, they just have no self control today. I think that's the issue. They can't comprehend it. What is this self control? If I have the freedom, I'm gonna use it.
sensitive
Like,
people
shut up,
on
dude.
social media. But they go down here to continue talking about these people in the interview, trying to slander and label them all kinds of
And I love this. I'm Japanese, believe it, but believe it or not, this culture war in the US is not normal in Asia. It is ridiculous. And what is it? I thought he said something else. I thought he said the translation or something. Seems mostly right, but I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, I I don't know. I doubt this person's Japanese. I doubt it. I don't think so.
ridiculous
I
things.
I I do not believe it. I the way I see it is, I will not believe everything at face value. Even this, even if it's agreeing with what my thought process is, I just find it hilarious when it says the translation are correct. I am Japanese. This phrase, it's like Nazi and gaslighting. Sure, man, you're Japanese.
All over politics. And this interaction further here, it really just sums up how delusional some of these people are. So this user says, no way 70-year-old dude, Japanese men, talking about the good old days where they could sexualize underage girls in their games. I would have never seen it coming. Where this user says, Dragon Quest is like the least pedo game out there. What are you talking about? And another user said, they have not sexualized any underage girls, and these men are renowned grandfathers of JRPGs. Show some.
Yeah, man. Like the well, I don't actually know, but like from the picture that we saw, that got censored, that did not look like an underage girl. No, like are people confusing like the art style for like, because it's a different art style. It's smaller, cuter, but like you can still see that was like an adult woman in like that armor. I hate this, man. I hate both sides of this, where like one side is like, uh, no, man. Yeah, they look like a little girl, but they're actually like 3,000 years old. And the other side is like, oh, if it looks cute, dude, you're a pedo. That character looks cute and it's in a sexual scene. You're a pedo if you watch this. Like, I don't know. Apparently, there's not any. It's the least pedo game out there, so like, I'm not gonna believe this at face value, but like, in this context, like, if people look this up, this is easy to look up, and it could be wrong. So who knows,
effing
man?
respect.
Yeah, I just don't like both sides of this argument. Where like, oh, it's 3,000 years old, or oh, it's a cute thing. It is a cute character, even though the like proportions are different to like what an actual child in that same universe looks like. No, that doesn't matter. You're still a pedo if you like anime.
Where they're hit with a negative downvote here, which is insane. Someone getting bashed on Reddit for saying don't slander people over drawings. I mean, it's the most Reddit thing, honestly. Let's be real. It's actually the most on character thing for any Reddit interaction.
Yeah, Rev's on the far left side of this. Would it be which one would it be? Yeah, it would be on the far left side of this anime argument about lollies.
But continuing on, the internet is forever, right? So they take down the original tweet and the YouTube video, but everyone's seen it, right? The message is out there. People understand the concerns that were expressed in this video, and it's been re uploaded in many different instances, including this particular post that is still up as of recording this video, that actually got way more impressions than the original video. This one racking up 18 million views on
Heck
Twitter.
yeah,
And
man.
part of the reason it got so much attention is because Elon Musk would quote retweet this and, of course, give it a lot more of a signal boost than the original video had. And
Fucking Elon Ma. I love that guy, Elon Ma.
people got very upset about this. Seeing Elon Musk engaging in this conversation, you have people like this saying, "You stay away from Dragon Quest," which leads to
Who is you? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man?
this
Jesus.
amazing quote right here where this user says, "What's truly insane is that these weirdos' takeaway from this Dragon Quest thing is that wokeness is ruining games and censoring them when it is literally and always has been the religious right that is censoring them. How can you possibly get to that conclusion?"
What? Yes, they have been, but this time it's the fucking left. It is wokeness. This is whataboutisms. Like, guys, guys. Okay, you can't be stabbing this this guy here. But look at them. They blew up the hospital, man. What are you doing? What? Of course we know this. Religion has always censored a lot of shit, but it, that's not what we're talking about. The religion isn't censoring this particular thing. It's wokeness. You dumb fuck. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, the 90s called and they want their discourse back. This whole thing about religious groups
Dude, isn't that like religion's censoring right now? But guess what? They're not in the games industry doing it. And if they are, they're making their own shitty games with their censorship. But like, holy fuck, isn't that true? That you just bring up 90s arguments. Fuck off, man.
censoring games has not been a thing, at least in the United States, for many years. In fact, you think about what's being censored and how it's being censored here. Do you think any religious organization would support a type A and type B body type? I'm pretty sure they would
Yeah,
support the exact
true,
opposite of that. And
true.
these people don't understand the closest thing to religious censorship here, or censorship from any sort of religious group, would be these woke people censoring these games because they function much like a cult. So if there's anything close to a religious
It's
group
not true.
censoring anything, it is the wokeness. They act just like a bunch of fanatics. And that's how they censor all of these things and demand that these things be censored. And anyone who talks out against it is dismissed as some sort of a horrible, disgusting person. But going on, you think about what we just saw there and the type of people that these companies are dealing with and what these creators in particular are dealing with. Don't forget that Square Enix was a Sweet Baby client. At least they were
Yeah.
publicly listed as one only up until a few days ago. Now they have their name removed from this list, and whether they're continuing to work with Sweet Baby in the background, just not showing it publicly, we don't know. But they have been working with Sweet Baby for quite some time, and don't be mistaken, there's definitely some sort of an influence on the direction of that developers because it's clear that they've gone that route with their products, and you're really just dealing with insufferable people. And this is a quote from the interview saying, "Doing business with such a ridiculous country is really frustrating," referring to the United States,
Yeah.
because we have people like Sweet Baby constantly trying to wedge their way into every project. We have a bunch of people crying on social media.
Yeah, Sweet Baby just blackmailing people. Oh, your game's not gonna do well in the West unless you let us console them. That's what they did with like Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, and thank God the developers of that were base as fuck and told them to fuck off.
Over the most benign things and demanding things be changed to essentially conform with their delicate sensibilities, it must be exhausting. Now, let's go back to the original post sharing that interview. Like I said, all traces of that original poster's videos have been removed, and a lot of people have come forward in articles and Twitter threads over the past couple of hours, basically dismissing the entire interview as the product of mistranslations. Basically saying the entire interview and
What?
everything they said is completely worthless because it's all mistranslations. But in reality, there is
Okay, I don't believe this because I'm pretty sure Eugene Hori said type 1, type 2. This. I, I remember him saying that. I don't speak a lick of Japanese, but I'm pretty sure that means type 1, type 2, body type. Fuck you, man.
There's only one mistranslation. And the original account that uploaded the video has sent out an apology. And it seems to me, and this is just my opinion, it looks like this was made by a lawyer, where they say, I would like to sincerely apologize for the incorrect English subtitles created for Mr. Kazuhiko Torishiyama statement. In the scene where he mentioned Puritan, it was mistakenly translated as sex education, which, by the way, looking at the context of that quote, he was basically saying that religion has an influence on sex education. But the proper translation now says Puritan, like Puritan culture, which is more accurate and seems like it makes more sense. And that's not a part of the video a lot of people really cared about. People cared about the comments of the Dragon Quest creator referring to the type A and type B body types, the censorship of the outfits, and how they
Yeah,
seemingly had that stuff forced upon them, and they don't really like it, and they're doing this because apparently to them they have been made aware of some sort of context where they have to do this in order to get into Western markets. Those are the way more important parts of this interview. And you're saying one mistranslation of one phrase in this nearly 3-minute interview is enough to basically dismiss this whole thing. And a lot of people are looking at this and thinking this is an act of censorship, and this person felt a need, maybe out of fear of a lawsuit, to take down the related videos. And a lot of people have noticed, and a lot of people are saying, wait, wait, wait. This seems like they're trying to cover up what was said by the Dragon Quest creator, and now they're trying to wipe this off the face of the
yeah. Just
internet. But
say that
as I said earlier,
it's all mistranslation. Apparently, since it's just one thing that got mistranslated. Jesus, man. That's what you do, man. Like, if you can't get it off the internet and the Streisand effect takes hold, just say it's all fake. It's wrong.
the internet is forever, and these videos are all over the place. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with YouTubers and
I
other
don't wait. I don't get it. How bold must you be to say that it's all mistranslation? As a publisher, right? How bold must you be to say this is mistranslation when there are people out there who can speak English and speak Japanese? Like, dude, there should be someone on Twitter just mentioning that these are the publications that said it was all mistranslation when they were wrong. Fuck, man. Pure ignorance of thinking that no one will ever correct you. But that's just Twitter as well. People just say things that they 100% believe in and just pretend that everything else, the evidence just does not exist. It doesn't. Fuck you.
content creators who covered samples of this interview, because are they going to go try to take those videos down? I think that would be a very big mistake. I don't think people are going to fold as quickly as this, and they will put up much more of a fight. And again, as a PR perspective, if they do something like that, that is about the worst thing they could do. It's a fair use of that clip, fair use coverage and commentary. So if they want to go that next step, they're going to be really shooting themselves in the foot. But
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about saying that because this is a big company, so if they like, they can probably bring down a lot of there won't be a lot of commentary YouTubers who would have the money, let alone the time to take them to court over it. Because at the end of the day, if these two disputes go like back and forth, where like the company says take it down, the YouTuber says no, it's a court process then, and YouTube can't do anything else about it. So I don't know. Asmund might have a go at it. Who knows? I doubt that. I doubt that. I think he'd probably just take it down and just talk about it instead. I guess that's the worst thing is yeah, sure, we'll take it down, but we'll make a big video about you censoring us. So fuck you in that aspect.
For now, that appears to be the situation so far with Dragon Quest III Remake. I'm sure this won't be the end of it. I have a feeling this is going to be dragging out further, and we'll see how they respond to criticism of this
Yeah,
decision and coverage of this entire situation. But for now, it's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
yeah. Check them out. Oh man, that is funny. There's a lot of discourse, and I'm so invested into the drama of it without actually being a fan of the series. Never played a single game. I think I've only seen the sprites for it. I've never seen any gameplay on any of the games, so yeah, we'll leave it at that. Peace.